I don't know if you guys recognize me. That's fine. I'll take it from here. I went viral last May for a couple days because I appeared on MSNBC. Yeah. Now it's all starting to make sense. Yeah. I appeared on MSNBC and I told an abortion joke. Well, guys, I had to. It was Mother's Day. That's how I've celebrated traditionally since my son was born. And the right wing went insane, okay? Here's all I said. All I said was, we were talking about current events, and at the time, the draft that the Supreme Court was gonna overturn Roe v. Wade had been leaked. So I said, I hope that leaker is a Republican, because I'm gonna find him, have sex with him, get pregnant, and joyfully abort the fetus. Guys, it's not my best joke, okay? But guess what? I don't give the good shit to MSNBC on a Sunday night. And the right wing acted like that was my plan, okay? That's what makes me crazy. I'm in my 50s. I can't get pregnant. Guys, if I told you I was pregnant, if I announced it right now, you wouldn't be happy for me. You'd be like, science has gone too far. Let me be more graphic. For me to have a baby, you'd have to shove one into my vagina and pull it out again. And it would have to be a preemie, because I do Kegels. That's right. If we're gonna pull off this prank, please go to a NICU. I want a baby no older than 28 weeks. We'll talk later about the details. So the right wing went insane, okay? The next day was unbelievable. I got doxxed on Facebook. Somebody posted my address on Facebook. Yeah, that somebody was my brother. He's like, she's always been like this. Get her. Okay, thanks, Pat. And all day long, Christians emailed me. So many Christians. I don't know what the collective noun is for Christians, a crucifix of Christians. Emailed me to tell me that I was a slut. Guys, I'm a middle-aged single mom. Please, slut me. Please. Please. You guys know where I live. Make me an offer. And then Monday night, my friend, she calls me, she goes, oh my God, are you watching Fox News? And I'm like, no. Are you? Well, she was. Sean Hannity did a segment on me on his show on Fox News. Yeah, it was crazy. They showed me telling my little joyfully abort jokette, all right? And then they go full frame to Sean, and he's livid. He goes, folks, you can't make this stuff up. Dumb fuck, I literally made it up. That's what jokes are. They're made up things. And the person he was talking about me to was Lara Trump. Lara is a wife of Eric Trump. And she was slamming the shit out of me. She's saying I'm a horrible person, a horrible woman. And I'm watching this from home going, bitch, you're not even a blood Trump, shut up. I'll take this critique from Ivanka. I would take it to heart if Ivanka said it, but not of Eric. So anyway, my goal for the rest of the year is to find Sean Hannity, have sex with him, get pregnant. I can't finish it, they'll find me. Was reading this article about climate change, and they say the polar bear is gonna be extinct by the end of this century. Yeah, it's very sad. I think our descendants are gonna hate us, all right? They're gonna be watching nature shows, they're gonna see polar bears, they're gonna look back on us and go, why didn't they save them? So what I think we need to do immediately is burn all footage of polar bears. We need to get rid of this evidence against us. Start telling kids now that the polar bear was a mythical creature. The Canadian god of Coca-Cola. And I think this will work because it's already worked before. The ancient Greeks did that exact same thing, okay? The ancient Greeks actually had all of those mythical creatures. They hunted them to death, and they realized, oh shit, we carved this stuff into our pottery. People are gonna see this and go, how come we don't have minotaurs? Right? So they invented mythology to cover their asses. It's an alibi, not a religion. They had Pegasuses. Do you guys know what a Pegasus is? Yeah, it's a flying horse. And the Greeks hated them. And you would too. Imagine herds of horses flying over your house every morning. You hate it when a bird takes a shit on your car. Now imagine horses shitting directly in your chariot. You don't even have windshield technology to block it. They had three-headed dogs, Cerberuses. I think that's how you say it. Harry Potter fans can correct me. I would love it if we had three-headed dogs. Of course, the owners of three-headed dogs would be annoying, right? They'd be like, she's a rescue, rescue, rescue. You're a hero, hero, hero. But the worst thing is the ancient Greeks had centaurs. You guys know what a centaur is, right? Half man, and then right here turns into a four-legged horse. Now this is where you want men to end anyway. But when the rest is a horse, guys, the centaur was a fuck beast that we should still have access to. Imagine a boyfriend that you could mount and ride to a restaurant and tell the hostess, stable for two, please. I do think the pandemic made people insane, though. I got in a parking altercation with someone during the pandemic. It was a curb with 2 spaces on it, and this person took 1.5 spaces. They didn't pull all the way up. Okay, so I parked right behind them, bumper to bumper, squeezed my little car in so I wasn't bleeding over into the red. And she was watching me park from the basement where I believe her family keeps her. And she escaped, and she called the police. She said, I'd like to report an accident. Yes, thank you. That is the right response. What? Yes. This ended up taking like 90 minutes of my day, okay? The cops came. We had to exchange driver's licenses. She was 30. Her name was Amy Catherine. I'm like, you 2 first names, bitch. You are wasting my time, right? And she started crying like crazy LA tears, right? And she goes, this is my grandmother's car. My grandmother just died. She left it to me, and you scratched the bumper. And I'm like, all right, that's a lot to unpack. But what's standing out to me right now is that you're 30 and your grandma just died. Wow, my grandma died before I was born. Check your privilege, bitch. I would have loved to have a grandma for 30 years. That's a lot of little birthday checks. And your grandma left you a car? Wow, my grandma died of cancer. You know what she left me? The gene for cancer. I should be crying right now, not you, Amy Catherine. And the car she was so upset about was a 2008 Hyundai. I'm like, you weren't even your grandma's favorite granddaughter. Your grandma had a wedding ring that she left to your cool cousin, Cassidy Madison. And then she's like, who do I leave this 14-year-old car to? Oh yeah, that fucking snitch, Amy Catherine. That cop caller. My kid, he struggles in school. He has ADHD. Those were actually his grades one year. He got 2 Ds and H. And I've always read out loud to him when he was little. I would read a couple grades ahead in books just to try to give him an edge. But sometimes I got a little ambitious. Like when he was 10, I decided to read him The Diary of Anne Frank. And my thinking was, I'm sick of Harry Potter. I was. By the 3rd book, I wanted all those kids to die. I didn't care. And take Hagrid with you. I'm tired of the whole lot. I wanted a female protagonist. I wanted him to learn some history, But I don't know if you guys remember, 10 years old is way too young for The Diary of Anne Frank. A lot of shit goes down in that book. At about page 10, she gets her period. And my son goes, what's a period? And I thought, oh, well, this is a good time to learn. So I said, well, when girls are Anne's age, they begin to menstruate. And that means once a month, blood flows uncontrollably out of their vaginas for 4 to 15 days. Depending on the girl, And we all know what menstruation is. It's no big deal to us. But to watch a 10-year-old boy hear about it for the very first time. Guys, if you don't have kids, go to a park tomorrow. Please, treat yourselves. Find some little boys and read a Judy Blume book out loud. They will run right into traffic. My kid couldn't even talk. One hand right to the balls because they thought they would start bleeding. And the other hand went up to block more words from me. And this is like a minute-long defensive reaction. And then he calms down, and I pick up the book again, and he goes, wow, I hope no more bad things happen to Anne Frank. That's when I realized I'd made a terrible mistake. If I finish reading this book as is, my 10-year-old son is gonna have a stroke. So on the fly, I came up with a different ending to The Diary of Anne Frank. I said, fuck it. I'm gonna give that little girl the life she should have had. So I said, great news, honey. She came to America. She married singer-songwriter James Taylor. And then she opened the very successful women's clothing store, Ann Taylor Loft. I had a terrible pandemic, guys. I don't know if you guys did. I had a bad one. My mom died of COVID. Thank you. Some of you gasping, like my mom. Come on now. You guys all told me you like dark comedy. I got it on tape, motherfuckers. Here we go. No, I know what happens, okay, when I start talking about this. Everyone thinks of their own mom dying for a sec, right? And about 85% of the audience pulls away from me in horror. But about 15% of the audience leans in. They're like, tell these jokes and tell them slow. My mom died early in the pandemic. She died in June of 2020, which was shocking to me because I'd started coughing on her back in March. That's why I'm mad at Fauci. He promised me a 2-week turnaround. I guess I might seem like a monster to you. Let me defend myself. I was my mother's caretaker, okay, for 4 years. My mother lived with me for 4 years. I had no privacy. If I wanted to masturbate, I had to go outside. So when I heard in March of 2020 there was a virus, if you remember, that was only killing elderly people, I was like, oh, even Jesus wants me to come inside. My mom was a Trump supporter who died of COVID, so the coroner ruled her death a suicide. Cause of death, her vote. Yeah. She died before the vaccines, and of course, that genuinely does suck. I do wish my mom had lived long enough to turn down the vaccines. In an epic 7-paragraph Facebook post entitled, "I've done my own research." I will tell you though, my favorite women right now are trans women. Yep. A lot of trans women have lived in both worlds, so they know shit that we cis women don't know. Like, they know how much we're supposed to get paid. That is valuable information. That's why a lot of guys don't want trans women in the women's bathroom. They're afraid trans women are gonna show us their old pay stubs. Hi, I hate to bother you. This is from 2017. What the fuck? That's what trans woman stands for, salary transparency woman. I love Twitter. My favorite part of Twitter is Black Twitter. I love it. I love it. It's very funny, but it's also incredibly informative. I learn a lot about white people. And not much of it's good. And here's the thing, about a year and a half ago, there's this thing on Black Twitter about white people, about how our reputation is that when we shower, we don't wash our legs. Clap if you've heard this. Okay, a lot of people. Some white people are shocked right now. They're frantically trying to retrace every step in the last shower they took. And I remember reading that stuff about white people not washing their legs, and I remember getting defensive, thinking, hey, that's not me. I'm not one of those whites, all right? I'm a good white. I'm an ally. And I thought, but maybe I don't wash my legs. Let me check. So I took a shower. I was like, let's see if Black Twitter's right about me. And I get in and I do my normal, 15 pumps of shampoo. I love shampoo, right? I make a big crown on my head, as I have every day since Princess Diana died. It's a private ritual I would rather not get into. And then I did this stuff, right? And I did this stuff. And then I got to my legs. My heart was beating. I told myself, you can't tell yourself to wash your legs. That's cheating. You have to let the muscle memory in your hands do what they normally do at this point in the shower. And my hands turned off the water. And my dirty legs walked out of the shower. But honestly, I'm here for the ladies. Yeah, let's hear it for the ladies. Ladies, we've had a rough couple 100,000 years. Not a lot of wins. None. I checked. You know, different times have been good for different women, okay? Like World War II was actually a great time for American women, specifically American women who hated their husbands. My grandma loved World War II because she hated my grandpa, and he fought in it for 4 years. In fact, we have one picture of this grandma smiling, and it was taken on December 7th, 1941. The day Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. She was like, And she was pregnant with my aunt, who she named Pearl after the harbor. What a troll, what a hero. And then the 70s were pretty good for American women, because 1974, we got the right to have a credit card. Did you guys know that? Yeah, 1974. And before that, if you wanted to like take your boyfriend out to lunch, you had to put it on your husband's Amex. I know some people don't like the woman in that joke because she's a cheater. But you know what? She's also a treater. Give that gal a second chance. I will tell you though, my favorite women right now are trans women. Yep. I love trans women because I feel like they're fresh troops in the war against the patriarchy, right? Number one, they're excited to be women. You know who's not excited to be a woman? This old cis bitch. I'm over this shit, okay? I'm tired of checking my teeth for lipstick. I'm tired of shaving my legs. I just want to get furry and not wear makeup and die. At least trans women have enthusiasm, all right? We need those vibes. Plus, a lot of trans women have lived in both worlds, so they know shit that we cis women don't know. Like, they know how much we're supposed to get paid. That is valuable information. That's why a lot of guys don't want trans women in the women's bathroom. Yeah. They're afraid trans women are gonna show us their old pay stubs. Hi, I hate to bother you. This is from 2017. What the fuck? That's what trans woman stands for, salary transparency woman.